Hey guys, it has been a while. Um, I had to jump on here and make a quick video. This is Monday, April 14th, and over the weekend, uh, my Patreon site blew up with students of mine and just Patreon members asking me what my thoughts were on the tariffs, and had dozens and dozens of people over the weekend, who are understandably concerned. So I wanted to get on and give a response to the situation that we're in, and after I've had a chance to give a little thought to it. And there will be a follow-up video on my YouTube channel to this video, because I'm going to keep this one very short. As you can tell, I'm not in my usual surroundings. I'm actually at the beach right now and taking advantage of some of this nice spring weather before it gets too hot. But my initial reaction to the tariffs were that this was not the nightmare that a lot of people saw it being. Reason being is that the tariffs have been equally applied to everyone. So, my biggest competitor as a high volume Amazon seller is Target, Walmart, and other high volume Amazon sellers. And as long as all of us are hit with the same pricing, there really will not be a problem from that perspective. What's really more damaging than the tariffs is the uncertainty around the tariffs. On again, off again, on again, off again. And here's the situation I'm in, just to give you an example. I currently have 2 containers with a value of around $200,000 or so that are en route right now as we speak, with a landing date of around May 1st. I have 4 more containers sitting portside in China that were supposed to ship out Thursday or Friday of last week, and I did not let them ship out as scheduled because of the tariffs. The containers I have en route are completely paid for, as are the containers I have sitting portside. So, you're looking at roughly a $600,000, maybe as much as $800,000 investment I've already made, and have sunken into product cost. Okay, so the $200,000 or so that I've got that's currently in transit, when that arrives around the 1st of May, in order for me to get that out of customs, I'm looking at another $300,000 to $350,000 in tariffs on top of that, meaning my total shipment is going to be, $500,000, as opposed to the $220,000 that I've already paid. That is quite a substantial difference, as you might imagine, and I don't usually keep 6 figures sitting around in a bank account. I have other investments that I'm involved in, other investments that pull money out of my cash flow. So this is going to take some doing. It's doable for these 2 containers, but for the 4 containers behind it, where again I'm looking at coming up in as little as 30 days, assuming I let those things go ahead and ship in the next week or so, I'm looking at coming up with another $900,000 to $1 million, $900,000 to $1 million just to pay tariffs. Now, I can move a lot of things around. I can make that happen. But here's the kicker. What if I pay those tariffs? Even just talking about the 2 containers I have headed this way, what if I pay those tariffs the day the material arrives in port, and I go ahead and move it into Amazon's warehouse, and then a week from now the tariffs are reversed? Am I getting that money back? Something tells me I would have a hard time getting that money back. So that means the people whose materials arrive a week from now, they may not be faced with the same tariffs on exactly this. Let's just say, for sake of argument, they ordered exactly the same materials that I have, same value. I'm looking at paying 150% more for my product than they're paying for theirs. even though the arrival date was within a week of each other. That's not good. Until I come up with some clarity, I am going to let those 2 containers sit in customs uh, for a significant period of time. I mean, I just don't know what else to do unless something else, some other information comes my way, uh, because there's been nothing said from this administration that makes me think the tariffs are going to be permanent. There's nothing said by this administration that makes me think they're not going to go away at some point in the future. Just it's a question of whether it's the near future or the far future. If I knew for a fact they were going to be in place for the next 12 months, I'd go ahead and make it happen and move on with life. But if they're going to be dropped in 2 weeks or a month, the cost to pay those tariffs now is just insane compared to what somebody might face a month from now, where they just wouldn't have any burden by the tariffs. So that's where my current thinking is. I just want to give you some insight in that. It's not the tariffs themselves that are causing the problem. It's the uncertainty around the tariffs. And the other thing is, just to throw this out there, and this is what I'm going to go into in the longer video, what this is going to do to so many things. The average person on the street is just thinking about a price increase on stuff they buy at the store, and that is, that's a significant concern. I've seen estimates over the weekend from a lot of different talking heads on the news shows saying that this was going to increase household cost between $4,000 and $5,000 a year, and I disagree. I think it's going to be quite a bit more, because I think there's a lot of costs that they aren't considering or taking into account. Just to give you an example, again, assuming the tariffs stay in place, you're looking at Dollar Tree being $5 Tree. You're looking at Five Below being 15 Below. You're looking at Dollar General and Family Dollar stores being, family $10 stores. The prices of those stores is going to go up dramatically, and do so very quickly, probably within the next 30 days. You're looking at cost at Home Depot, Lowe's, Target, Walmart. Again, almost across the board on any non-food item, you're looking at significant price increases, because the vast majority of the products that those stores carry, as well as many other stores, I'm not picking on those stores, but the vast majority of those products come from China. So the cost per household is going to be, the increased cost per household is going to be pretty excessive, and I think it's going to be well in excess of $4,000 or $5,000 for the average house. And more importantly, you look in rural America, there's something like 60% of the country that doesn't live within 5 miles of a grocery store. They don't live within 20 miles of a Walmart or a Target. These people do a lot of shopping, just everyday shopping, at Dollar General and Dollar Tree and Family Dollar stores. I don't personally do that, but there are people out there that do. We know this through statistical analysis and just knowing where their customer base comes from. And again, those stores are going to see a massive price increase. And so if you have a family that's doing a couple of $100s a week business at a Dollar General, they can see their weekly costs go from a couple of $100s a week up to $500, $600 a week here very, very quickly by mid-May, 30 to 45 days. These larger retail chains do not have very long supply chains. There's very little elastic capacity built into that supply chain. They deal with just-in-time deliveries. They have ships and containers that are in motion basically 24/7, 365 days a year. And from the time a store places an order until they receive shipment from a warehouse, it's probably on the order of 72 hours. And the warehouses are replenished on an ongoing basis. So there's just not a giant warehouse in the sky in the United States that's holding weeks or months worth of inventory. their inventory is probably measured really in just a few days worth. So bear that in mind. And another place you're going to run into issues is car parts. The cost of replacement body panels in particular for cars is going to go through the roof, because most of those are made in China now. And so, along with the cost of the part you need to repair your vehicle costing more, your insurance rates are going to go up because the insurance has to pay higher costs. So you're going to see a pretty substantial rise in your collision insurance in the near future. The next time you renew your policy, expect to pay quite a bit more for it, regardless of what model car you have. If you've got collision insurance, you're going to get hit in the wallet. And lastly, the last thing I'll cover in this video is prescription drug pricing. The tariffs on India include drugs coming from that country. We get about 90% of our generic drugs in the U.S. from India, and I believe the number is somewhere around 60% of our non-generic drugs come from India. And it's going to get hit pretty hard with price increases. On top of that, legislation was just passed here in the last 60 days that reduced cost controls on prescription drugs. That was one of the things that Biden had put into place to keep prescription drug prices, at a reasonable level. And in particular, insulin is one that most people heard about. And insulin prices are going to go up because of the tariffs. At the same time, the cost controls come off of it. So people are going to see their insulin prices go from about $6 a month to probably well over $100 a month. And I've seen estimates as high as $250 to $300 a month. And that's just going to be almost immediate. That will happen really in the next couple of weeks. So, there's a lot of bad news wrapped up in these tariffs. It's hard to put a positive spin on it. Hopefully, there will be political pressure that reduces or eliminates these tariffs in short order. I really don't know what to tell you on that. My crystal ball is pretty cloudy when it comes to predicting what this administration is going to do. And I'm really not trying to sound political at all. I'm trying to look at it from the viewpoint of a business person and just what is good for my business and what is good for my customers. But anyway, if you'd like to get a little bit more in depth on this, I will be doing another video on my YouTube channel in the next day or so. It may happen today. It just depends on how the mood strikes me. But check out that video when it posts, and leave a comment, leave questions, and we'll see you again. Thanks for watching.